What's up, YouTube? It's me, the Artisan MC, and today I'm going to give you my reaction for Blue Eyed Samurai Episode 5. Now, it took me a little while to get back to Blue Eyed Samurai. I've been trying for a few weeks, but the holidays and work schedule was a little tough. But tonight I actually stayed up, burned the midnight oil, and I got to get through that episode. And this episode was pretty deep. It had some how should I say, um, dire stakes for the lead character of Mizu. Now, this episode picks up where the last one left off, where Mizu is defending um, the madam's brothel from the Lord. Um, I'm forgetting his name, but he's coming in with all his crew, and they're going to kill all these consorts, let's call them that, in the madam's house. And Mizu is there to stand against them. Now, through the course of this story, you have two stories wrapped in this one as the main story is going along. You have the main story of Mizu taking on this lord and his soldiers. You have a second story, which is some actors doing a play about a Ronin, losing his lord and falling in love. But then you also have the story of Mizu's past as a child and growing up to a young woman, and surprisingly, Mizu's husband, which I didn't think she had. I thought they were going the way in this one that Mizu was going to be a lesbian, but apparently not. Apparently, Mizu did have a husband. Now, it's pretty interesting the way they loop this story all together because at different points you stop in the main story of Mizu taking on these criminals. And then you get a little bit of the actual play, but the play is actually feeding into what Mizu's story actually was. Because make no mistake about it, this play, I think, is about what could be Mizu's father. I'm not sure, right? But it seems very similar in the sense that the events of the play is actually playing out in Mizu's life, but that is not the story of Mizu's life. It happened before her. So, in the story, you find out that once Mizu found that her house was burned down and her mother was dead, she made a vow as a young child to get revenge for her mother. Now, sometime after that, she ends up with the blind sword maker, and she learns how to fight with a sword. And that's why she practices to avenge her mother. And on one of her first escapades out into the world trying to find information to find the white man she's looking for, she ends up getting stabbed and not being able to continue on very far until she comes upon a bridge with some ladies of the night, some prostitutes there who will help her and recognize one of them as her mother. And in fact, it is her mother all these years later. And what you find out is that the mother did not die, even though she's sports some little burns on her neck and whatnot. The mother did not die. The mother actually set the house on fire to throw off the people who were searching for Mizu and her mother. So if they believe they died in the fire, they would not look anymore, right? Now, Mizu's mother takes her in and, bandages her up and whatnot and tries to, nurse her back to health. But Mizu's mother is a whole hoe. She's a whole hoe. She's selling, box for opium, which she calls her medicine. And during that time that she's, selling it, busting it open for a real samurai, um, she actually arranges a marriage for Mizu because they're out of money. And her mother actually kind of sells her off in a sense for her own benefit because Japanese culture, your daughter, you have one daughter, the daughter gets married, you go to the house with the daughter and they take care of you. So she sells her off to this samurai who is transgressed against the shogun of that time and stays on a farm and raise and trains horses, but he needs a wife. And Mizu's mother has basically sold her off to this man so they can be, in a better position. And once you get to the farm, you realize that the guy's a lot older. He doesn't think Mizu is as ugly as he thought he was. And this is a situation of an arranged marriage. The marriage was arranged, right? Now, for the time that Mizu and her mother are there on this horse ranch with this, shamed samurai in a sense, um, she gets to know the man, Mikio, and they develop an actual relationship. They develop a fondness for each other over raising the horses and some other stuff. Now, he doesn't know initially about Mizu's skill with a sword. He doesn't know about that at all. But over time, when they become close, she does show him her skill with a sword. And it is a bit frightening to him because she is better than him. Now, I'm not really on that part. I don't think she should be better than him because, older or not, he has a lot more time being a samurai. Just saying. Now, one of the things I thought was the most interesting in this is that while Mizu and Mikio are married, he never touches her for a while. Never. And it's not until they finally really develop a fondness for each other and she touches and kisses him that they finally consummate their marriage. Now, that is basically supposed to be some time later. So it leads to the sense and the understanding that Mizu loved him. She was in love with him, that she grew to love him and actually did fall in love with this man. So, in that sense, she is not one, a virgin, and two, a lesbian. Now, what you get out of this situation is the understanding that because she is able to beat her husband, he is a bit afraid and he takes the horses, including the one that he said she could keep, to the shogun to bring him a perfect horse so he can get his honor back from the shogun. And while Mizu was a bit terrified that she might have messed up something and didn't want to hurt him, um, when she hears hoofs coming back, it's not him that comes back. It is a party of samurai from the shogun looking for her. Now, I'll leave that right there, but and tell you that the play is happening the same time all the rest of this is happening. That is interweaving all of this stuff together while Mizu fights the band. I want to say his name is Boss Hanada. His band of soldiers. When she gets stabbed, she remembers being stabbed on her first time out as a young adult looking for information. When she is fighting through the pain and being choked, she remembers these times of being with her husband. And this is how you get all this intermingling of her past and present all at the same time in this play, all happening at the same time, getting to its eventual finale. Now, I'm not going to tell you what happens past that point, but I can say that um, she does get bloody, which is what this show is. It's a samurai show. If people weren't getting limbs lopped off and you know cut and slashed in some gruesome fashion, it wouldn't be a samurai show. It'd be a slasher movie or something else. But I will say I really enjoyed this amount of character development for this character in one episode because for the most part everybody else was, you know, downstairs hiding out. It was Mizu having to take on all of these soldiers and fight through the pain that she was in from getting stabbed and choked out and still try to pull it together to save all of these people. And it gave me a better appreciation for the character of Mizu and what this character has been through for this time. Now, the initial parts of it is that I still think that she's way too good for never fighting against anybody. But not knowing how much time has passed from the time she was with her husband to the present day where she's fighting off all these soldiers. Now, I could give her that she's gotten better. I can give her that she has had to have gotten better. But just being able to surpass her husband at a younger age, I don't buy that completely. Even though I don't think he was trying to really go hard at her, I don't really buy him beating her or her beating him. I really don't. Um, so I really did love that part of it, that character development for a little bit more understanding of who this person is and what kind of burden Mizu carries going through this world on this path of revenge. What kind of pain and anguish she has actually gone through outside of what it was when she was a child, what she dealt with in recent times as a young adult. It's a lot of shit. It's a lot. So I'm really feeling a sense of wanting this character to win. For real. I'm wanting this character to win because at this point she has sacrificed a lot. She has. And you watch this episode, you'll see the price is high. The price is high. And what she is on with her revenge mission is, look, I can see why she's holding to it. I really can. So the other thing I want to mention is that how much I'm loving the animation, the music, and just the action scenes in this. Some very good camera angles that I would not have seen. The fight scenes are always pretty good, right? They're better than some live action fight scenes that I've seen. But I like falling into this show and falling in love with the way it looks. And the more I watch it, the more I always want to go back and play Ghost of Tsushima. That's all I keep thinking about. I just want to ride my horse and Ghost of Tsushima and ride over the plains and the rolling hills and just listen to that music and get the vibe of that area. So, with that being said, um, hope that wasn't too much of a spoiler, but it is a very good story told in a non-linear fashion because you're going backwards and forwards in time the entire duration of the show, but it all culminates in a story you understand and a character you understand a lot better at that point. So I'd recommend watching it. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Like, share, subscribe, support the stream if you feel so inclined. I'm an artisan MC, and this was my reaction to Blue Eye Samurai Episode 5. I will see you guys next time. Peace.